The wealth concentration numbers are staggering. When Bernie Sanders shared those statistics about BlackRock, Vanguard, and State Street controlling 95% of American corporations, it really puts our current situation in perspective.
Speaking of perspective, that Friends Hospital incident in Philadelphia shows how quickly things can spiral. Officers trying to help someone get mental health treatment, and within moments it turned deadly after he grabbed an officer's gun. 3 people in America own more wealth than 170 million of their fellow citizens combined. Today's headlines paint a stark picture of inequality, violence, and attempts at justice across the country.
The fact they weren't even treating him as a suspect initially really highlights the challenges around mental health response. They were literally just trying to help him get treatment.
And then we have these coordinated Tesla attacks happening across multiple states, from Oregon to South Carolina, people using Molotov cocktails to target Tesla properties. The FBI isn't taking it lightly, treating it as domestic terrorism.
What do you make of the timing of these attacks happening so close together across such distances?
Well, that's what makes it particularly concerning for law enforcement, trying to determine if these individuals were working together or if it's some kind of copycat effect. The surveillance footage from Las Vegas was especially chilling.
The Attorney General's statement about it being the end of crimes without consequences seemed pretty direct. They're clearly trying to send a message.
You know what really struck me today? That Oklahoma execution of Wendell Grissom. The victim's friend who survived gave such powerful testimony about living with 8 bullet wounds and years of trauma. When she said, "It took him 13 minutes to die and it took him 2 minutes to kill my best friend," that really puts things in perspective.
And Amber Matthews' last words being, "Please don't shoot me," while holding a 6-week-old baby. Her family waiting 20 years for this moment.
In the midst of all this domestic turmoil, we had that surprising positive development with George Glesman's release from Taliban custody after 2 years. Qatar's role in mediating these releases seems to be growing more important.
It's interesting how these diplomatic channels work. This is the 3rd American released since January through similar negotiations.
And then there's the Department of Education situation. Linda McMahon talking about terminating almost half the department, but trying to do it thoughtfully. They're offering 3 months of pay and benefits, but the long-term impacts on education policy could be significant.
So, what do you think all these stories tell us about where we are as a country right now?
I think they show us how interconnected everything is. Mental health affecting law enforcement, economic inequality potentially driving civil unrest, international relations impacting domestic politics. It's like we're watching multiple crises converge at once.
And each one seems to raise more questions than answers about our future.
Looking ahead, these aren't issues that will resolve quickly. Whether it's wealth inequality, mental health response, or international relations, we're seeing the beginning of longer-term trends that will shape our society for years to come.
Let's hope we can find better ways to address these challenges before they become even more severe.
The real question is whether we can learn from these situations, from the Friends Hospital incident to the Tesla attacks to the Department of Education changes, and develop more effective approaches to these complex problems.